Stephanie Land, born in September 1978, is an American writer known for her autobiographical bestseller entitled Maid, Hard Work, Low Pay, and A Mother's Will to Survive. Young Stephanie, born in Port Townsend, Washington, grew up in a middle-class family. At the age of 16, following a car accident, she was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, which peaked with financial problems due to her family situation. In her late 20s, she had her first child and soon separated from her partner. Becoming a single mother, Len did what she could to support her child, even working as a waitress. Although she did not grow up in poverty, she spent the next years living in extremely difficult conditions, relying on various welfare programs to cover the necessary expenses. Following her separation from her husband, Stephanie and her daughter moved into various precarious accommodations, homeless shelters, and camper vans before securing low-income housing. The writer's life and memoirs gave rise to her autobiographical work, in which Stephanie recounts herself, her feelings, her doubts, and her fears, triggered by her profound desire to guarantee a serene and dignified future for her daughter, Mia, despite the condition of poverty in which she finds herself living after her separation from Jamie, a very abusive man. The young mother is thus forced to work hard, juggling different poorly paid jobs and submitting to the wishes of the rich, in order to secure a better home where she can bring up little Mia. Amidst bouts of panic and conflicting feelings, Stephanie decides to take time out to enjoy herself by writing a book of her memoirs, in which she recounts what it's like to be poor in a country where they are not accepted and consequently respected. From the success of Land's book in 2021, a miniseries entitled Maid was produced, a Netflix TV series consisting of 10 episodes. The miniseries consists of the same protagonists as the book, although they have different names, and recounts the same dramas experienced by the author in the memoir, following a different chronological order. At first, the series appears less explicit in comparison to the book. In fact, only through an incipit does it give the viewer a chance to understand the dynamics of the couple and subsequently the issue of divorce. Only with the succession of episodes do we notice how they are in fact less and less rich in detail and precisions. The memoir, on the contrary, always maintains a constant character by providing a more detailed plot and a more accurate descriptions. The book has an introspective character. The story almost entirely narrates the life of the author and their problems, leaving little space for her surroundings, family, friends. In contrast, the series, through the creation of a few fantastic characters, highlights the lives of the other protagonists and emphasizes the differences with that of the young mother. Although family relationships are not mentioned very often in the series, it is important to emphasize how they change almost substantially between the book and the series. An illustrative example is the relationship with the protagonist's mother. In the written work, Stephanie does everything she can to regain a relationship with her mother. She needs her love and approval. In the series, however, Alex almost disdains her mother and does not share her lifestyle. This mother-daughter relationship, told in the series, better clarifies the feeling of loneliness of the protagonist, estranged from everyone, even from her family unit. In a miniseries, characters often mention social assistance programs aimed at providing support for people in difficulty. Although it is easy to understand what they are talking about, the abrupt use of acronyms in English can generate some misunderstandings. In the book, all these are explained in detail at the end of each chapter, allowing a clearer understanding of the text and a smoother reading. Despite the fact that Maid differs substantially from the book, the author admitted that she was impressed by the way the series managed to portray her story, while also dealing with fundamental issues, the same ones she wanted to express in the book. Poverty, prejudice towards the needy, and the inefficiency of the system for assisting the poor are the key themes of this story, of how complicated it is to receive certain aid from the state, due to the lack of requirements and money, and finally how lengthy the procedures and the bureaucracy behind them are. The woman in the book is portrayed as an object, devoid of dignity, who always needs the approval of others, in particular the male figure. She is a woman who is not free, who cannot make decisions, even if these affect her future. On the contrary, in the series, Alex is an independent and capable woman who cares little for the judgment of others, who does everything she can to work and ensure an adequate life for her daughter. Both in the TV play and in the memoir, there is this continuous highlighting of the differences between the rich, the world of wealth and luxury, and the poor, those who are forced to live the burden of a very arduous life. These differences are important to highlight how in reality, despite their wealth, these people are always unhappy, unlike the protagonist, to whom little is enough to get through the day. The theme of violence against women plays a fundamental role. It is in fact at the center of both works. Both Alex in the series and Stephanie in the book suffer aggression on the part of their husbands. Cruelty that is not physical but psychological, the deepest wounds and the most difficult to heal. The last mentioned theme is exactly what prompted me to tell this story and to analyze in detail the differences between the two works. Reading this book and watching this series opened my eyes, and I realized how even the smallest work can be great representation of real life. Although the themes are somewhat common to other movies, they still manage to be perfectly emphasized and not fall into banality. Personally, I prefer to try my hand at reading the book. I find memoir writing to be essential if one wants to tell a story of this kind. In spite of this, the series still managed to portray Stephanie's life in a way that was nothing short of brilliant, giving the audience more sympathy for the young mother.